Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, we are in the building. Shout out to the family. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, we here. We here, ladies and gentlemen. We here. Yes, indeed, we are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. We are here. I know y'all mad. I know y'all mad. Yeah, y'all mad. Y'all mad on this evening. Yeah, they mad, family. They mad. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. We are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We are here, family. We are here. Yeah, it's about to be a good show on this evening. It's about to be a good show on this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all mad. I know y'all are mad, but it's okay. We told y'all. We told y'all what was going to happen. But you took us as a joke. And now you got to deal with the consequences, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel victorious on this evening, family. How do you feel? How do the family feel on this evening? Shout out to the family. I see y'all in the chat. I feel victorious on this evening. Throughout this live stream, family, I want to be addressed as victorious. That's my name on this evening, ladies and gentlemen. That's my name on this evening. Victorious. Yes, indeed. I know they mad. These people out here losing their mind, but we told them what the ancestors was going to do. We told y'all. Yes, indeed, family. We here. We here, family. While you guys are coming in the room, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, family. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever we go live, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, we got to put belt to ass on this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We about to put belt to ass on this evening. This is the livest show on YouTube. Absolutely. Get in here, family. Get in here right now. Salute to the family. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm feeling victorious. I'm feeling victorious on this evening. But first things first, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started on the live stream, we got a lot of things that we need to discuss. But first things first, happy birthday. Happy heavenly birthday to my little brother, Nolan Wells, right? Nolan Wells is 19 years old today. So happy heavenly birthday to Nolan Wells. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. We celebrate you today. Job well done, my brother. Job well done. Shout out to you. Shout out to Nolan Wells. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells. Happy birthday to Nolan Wells. Job well done, my brother. And we will continue to advocate for you. We will continue to be a voice for you. Because we ain't left. We ain't left. We still stomping hard for our brother. We still standing 10-toe down for our brother. So happy birthday to Nolan Wells. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. Rest on. May your soul rest on. Job well done. Happy birthday from me and the family. Shout out to Nolan Wells. Yes, indeed. Lexi came in with the $10 super chat. I was at the hearing. It was lit. Tomorrow will be even more lit. Let's go. Mello coming home. Thank you so much for that, Lexi. Thank you so much for that. Shout out to you for being boots on the ground, Lexi. Shout out to you for being boots on the ground. Shout out to our brother Karmelo Anthony. Yes, indeed. Shout out to our brother Karmelo Anthony. Family, we got a big win on this morning, right? You heard Lexi just say that it was lit today. I knew the family was going to show up and show out. That's how we do. Karmelo Anthony won today, and I know y'all mad. I see the low IQ community out here chimping out. They coping. Just because he got another judge doesn't mean that he's not an unaliver. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Shout out to these two kings right here. Shout out to these two kings. My brothers, my family. Big win on this morning for Karmelo Anthony. Judge Roach, you're out of here, sir. Kick rocks. See, y'all thought y'all was going to be slick down there in Collier County. See, Judge Roach thought he was slick. See, he jumped the gun. He jumped the gun. He said, yeah, I put this setup in on Karmelo Anthony. Now I'm finna go on a news network 2 days later, and I'm finna gloat. I'm finna gloat. I'm finna let the white supremacists know that I did my job. I'm finna let the YT community know that I did my part. I made sure that we locked Karmelo up. I made sure that he was found guilty. But this is a victory for us. I don't want to hear nothing about nobody saying that, hey, I know we got another fight on our hands tomorrow for the retrial, but this is a victory for the family. Because I want this on Judge Roach's record by being recused off this case. Yes, indeed, family. Shout out to Lexi coming in with the $5 super chat. Jeff Metcalf spit on Karmelo on Melo supporter. Oh, wow. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, Lexi. That's crazy. Is it any footage of that? We know that he mad. I know it. I know he mad. And I know, what's her name? Megan Kelly. Where you at? Good luck. Good luck. Where you at? Yeah, okay. Okay, family. Shout out to Karmelo Anthony. Shout out to Nolan Wells. Happy birthday, bro. Rest in peace. May your soul rest on. Job well done. Shout out to Karmelo Anthony for securing a big win in court today, ladies and gentlemen. We got Judge Roach the hell up out of here. We got Judge Roach the hell up out of here. Yeah, you're gone. Kick rocks. You're gone. Yes, indeed, family. We here. We are here. So first things first, we are going to go over our victory that we had in court today, removing Judge Roach off the case, right? Like we said we was going to do. And then we're going to go over the district attorney backpedaling off the agreement that we had on doing a joint venture when going over Nolan Wells' phone. And this alleged witness that came about that said that she saw a altercation on the island between Nolan Wells and somebody else. And the people in Mississippi got a lot to say, right? The people in Mississippi, the Mississippians are very upset at the district attorney and her lack of transparency, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Oh, you said, where is Nancy? This Grace said, hey, we're going to cover Nancy. Matter of fact, Nancy Grace got Bussy Tatum on her platform right now, family. So we're going to go over that in just a minute. We going to go over that in just a minute. And I told you guys, Nancy Grace was one of the leading, like she was the lead in charge in trying to take down our brother, Karmelo Anthony. But shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this evening. While you guys are coming in the room, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, family, so you could be notified whenever we go live, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
We begin with breaking news in McKinney as Karmelo Anthony works to appeal his conviction and seeks a new trial. Within the past hour, the judge who presided over the murder trial has been removed from the case. Let's go straight to our JD Miles, who was inside the courtroom when that decision was announced. So, JD, what can you tell us?
Well, Karen, from everyone I've spoken to in the legal community, they found this decision today very surprising. But as Judge Sid Harrell, the visiting judge, said himself when he made this ruling, this was far from a typical murder trial. The hearing lasted only an hour. The only evidence presented was 18 minutes of a raw interview that Judge John Roach did with a media outlet 2 days after the verdict in June.
2 days.
The defense tried to use that interview to show that the judge was biased by saying he agreed with the jury and other things, and in the end, the visiting judge agreed and
shout out to
the
the
recusal.
family, boots on the ground.
This morning there were protests and there were demonstrations and chants outside the Collin County Courthouse.
Look at the family.
I was inside the courtroom where Karmelo Anthony appeared for the first time since the last day of his trial. He was in a dark green prison jumpsuit with shackles. He looked noticeably thinner. The judge allowed the defense to remove those shackles during the hearing. After the defense played audio of the interview, appeals attorney Russell Wilson argued that the judge violated canons of conduct not to speak about the case when a case is pending or there's an impending hearing, which in this case is the appeal. The visiting judge didn't agree with everything the defense said, but in his ruling he said, quote, "In my opinion, there was a period where a motion for a new trial could be filed, and I believe Judge John Roach believes he can be fair in this matter. I believe he can be fair in this matter, but that's not the test."
I think it is surprising. I think most observers
See, the judge said that he believed that, he still stand on code. He said, in my opinion, there was the period where a motion for a new trial could be filed. So Judge Roach jumped the gun, family. He was not supposed to sit down and talk about the case when we already filed a motion for a new trial. We already filed an appeal, right? But he want to come out here and with his dog whistling, trying to let the white supremacists know, like, hey, I did my job. I made sure that I upheld my end of the bargain. See, he jumped the gun. He jumped the gun, ladies and gentlemen.
This matter, I believe he can be fair in this matter, but that's not the test.
I think it is surprising. I think most observers probably thought that that was not going to happen, that Roach didn't do anything outside the bounds of his judicial canons or judicial responsibilities. And the judge here in the case obviously disagreed. So now there's a new judge that will be appointed, and the hearing for motion for new trial goes on. This doesn't speak to whether or not the motion for new trial will be granted or not.
And look,
this
he mad.
Speaks to who the judge will be that will be presiding over that hearing.
Look at him. He a hater. He a hater. Look, he pissed off. This does not mean that it's going to be a new trial is going to be granted. It just means it's going to be a new judge. It don't matter, sir. A win is a win. We won today, right? And we going to win tomorrow. Because that's what we do. We win, baby. That's what we do. And I know y'all mad. I know y'all mad. Deal with it.
And that was longtime Collin County criminal defense attorney Todd Shapiro. He's not connected to this case, but he offered some legal analysis there, and he made it clear that this does not necessarily mean anything about what's going to happen tomorrow. When there's
we know that. Why y'all keep trying to bring that up? Why y'all keep bringing up tomorrow? You see how they trying to jump the gun? You see how they trying to rain on our parade? It don't matter, sir. We won today. We are intelligent to know that the recusal of Judge Roach has nothing to do with the retrial. Y'all just got to make sure that y'all coddle y'all low IQ community members, right? So they can have some type of confidence that, his retrial might not get granted. This does not change what's about to go down tomorrow. See, we already know that as intelligent black folks, but they got to make sure that they, point that out. This ain't got nothing to do with his retrial. Oh, shout out to the family. Yeah, we know y'all mad.
Motion for a new trial because the evidence that the judge heard today was based on something that happened 2 days after the trial.
We know that.
Judge John Roach gave an interview. So
we know that, sir. We know that. We know that dum-dum made a mistake when he came out and did that interview. We know that. We knew what was going to happen because we like, hold on, wait a minute. Why would the judge come out 2 days later, right, after the trial, knowing that this is a high-profile case? Why would you sit down and do an interview that nobody asked for, by the way, did nobody request to hear from Judge Roach? He took it upon himself, family, to sit down and do an interview like he David Ruffin. Like he just won the All-Star game. He won the Super Bowl. Like he just like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, the jury did the right thing. Yeah, that's right. I just wanted to make sure that I rushed this trial and, Collin County can heal now. Yeah, he messed up. Because he let his ego get in the way. He allowed his anti-black racism to get in the way. Dog whistling.
We'll be hearing completely new evidence in this motion for a new trial tomorrow. The administrative judge over in North Texas, Ray Wheelis, will announce who that judge who will preside over that hearing will be any minute now. He's probably already made that decision. It just hasn't been announced yet. When that happens, we will be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. when supporters of Karmelo Anthony are expected to be out here, when the attorneys will be back in the courtroom, and the defense, the appeals attorneys, will be arguing for a new trial based on a whole new set of reasons. That's the story from here in Collin County. Live, I'm J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.
Well, that's a big...
Yeah, family, they mad, family. They are mad. They are pissed off because we won big today. We won big today, family. I know y'all mad.
Their opinions about this ruling. Steve.
Yeah, thunderous support and thunderous applause. We heard, Karen, people poured out of this courthouse once, as JD reported, that decision was rendered in that courtroom. People who are here to voice their support for Karmelo Anthony and this legal process post-conviction, showcasing it here in this parking lot out here earlier today. They show you the images of so many people who were here earlier this morning, pre and post that hearing earlier this morning. Organized groups, literally dozens of them, were called to show support on this legal fight to appeal this conviction, essentially this sentence for Karmelo Anthony. But as you know, as JD mentioned, the focus today, this morning, was about the judge and should that judge be recused. Many expressing concerns that Anthony's actions were in self-defense when he stabbed
Look
and
at the
killed
family out
Austin
there.
Metcalf,
Look
but
at the
also
family out there
arguing
standing
about
on business.
This judge, the first of two parts of this
Look at the
post-conviction
family.
legal fight happened today, as JD
Yeah.
mentioned. I spoke
Yeah.
with one of Mr. Anthony's attorneys, Lee Merritt, who came here with this group post this hearing this morning. He is part of...
Karmelo was extremely relieved. He came into the courtroom today very timid, very exhausted, really. You can see that he had lost weight, he had hardened a bit, he had aged a bit in his time in jail. But to hear the community behind him and then to hear an official proclamation from a judge that says, what your family, what your community is seeking, they're going to be granted today, was a huge relief.
Shout out to the family. There's boots on the ground, family. The family is boots on the ground down there. Shout out to the family. Hold on, I got another video to play because I'm finna show you how mad they is down there,
A judge
family.
granted his lawyer's request to replace his trial judge. Now, a new judge will proceed over Anthony's appeals. Thank you for being with us this midday. I'm Kara Sewell. WFAA has followed this case since the very beginning. What does today's decision mean for a new trial?
Well, it means Judge Roach will not be sitting on the bench when we have tomorrow's hearing. Now, after that news was mentioned, there were people clapping, there were people cheering outside of the courthouse, outside of the courtroom as well. Today's hearing lasted only about an hour and 20 minutes. We did not expect it to take the full day. Judge Sid Harrell ruled to recuse Judge Roach, not based on any judicial canons or violations of conduct or misconduct, but rather whether an outside person could think the judge could be fair and impartial. And just to understand what all that means, I've got Todd Shapiro here, longtime defense attorney. Can you tell us what the distinction is?
Sure. So the judge granted the motion to recuse, but he narrowly tailored his decision, for the record, saying exactly what you just said. It wasn't because of anything necessarily that Judge Roach did that was impermissible in the trial. It was more an idea that giving the interview after the fact made an outsider or a reasonable third party look at the process and think it could have been not as fair and impartial as the law requires. So I would say, out of abundance of caution, the judge did recuse Judge Roach, which is a victory for the Karmelo supporters. There's no doubt that they're happy, because technically that's probably the first victory they've had in this case since it started.
You see, family. You see the hate right there. You see how mad he is. His soul, his blood is boiling. It's a victory for Karmelo Anthony supporters, and it's their first victory throughout the whole entire trial. He's mad. He's mad. The YT community losing their mind today, family. They're mad. They so mad, this guy got to throw shade. What was the point of saying that? You goddamn right we got a victory today. We proud of it. We going to stand 10 toes down behind our victory.
Technically, that's probably the first victory they've had in this case since it started, but it doesn't. They're happy because technically that's probably the first victory they've had in this case. Judge Roach, which is a victory for the Karmelo supporters. There's no doubt that they're happy because technically that's probably the first victory they've had in this case since it started.
No, sir. The first victory we had in this case, sir, was Karmelo still being alive. Yeah, that's the victory. Karmelo Anthony got his life. Austin Metcalf is in hell, burning. He's in the dirt. Yeah, that's the victory we got. So we see the little shade. We understand that you mad. You having a mayo attack. We know why you mad. We know why you mad. Good. Deal with it. But the victory is Karmelo is still alive to fight for his life, fight for his freedom. That's the big victory. That's the big win. I can't say the same about Austin Metcalf. Coffin Austin. Yeah.
It doesn't really change the landscape of what's next, because
it doesn't change the landscapes of what happened next. These people are so mad.
Is whoever gets appointed to now step into the shoes of Judge Roach will have to listen to evidence and testimony in the next couple days in the motion for new trial to be able to determine whether or not they've met the standard of proving that they, in fact, did not get a fair trial the first time around and it should be entitled to a new trial.
Yeah, we didn't get a fair trial. We didn't. Yeah, we ain't getting no fair trial. An all-white jury, white prosecutor, white DA, a racist, white supremacist judge that was basically gloating in the fact that he railroaded Karmelo Anthony. And this right here, defense attorney, he basically saying that he's mad, right? He want to take shots at Karmelo Anthony supporters. We don't care, sir. We don't care. We won. Even if we didn't win today in court, Karmelo Anthony is alive. Yeah, Karmelo Anthony is alive. That's the biggest win ever. He still can breathe. He got another shot at life. Austin Metcalf is maggot food, sir. He's never coming back. And that's why y'all mad. That's why the low IQ Neanderthals are crashing out. Family, they are crashing out all over the internet right now. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Big win for us. Big win for us. Let me highlight the family down there. Let me highlight the family down there that's boots on the ground. Yeah, these haters mad. They mad.
Yes. Let's go.
Look at the family. Hold on. Wait a minute.
How y'all feeling? How you feeling? Hey, how are you? Happy to see y'all. Yes. Let's go.
Shout out to the
How
family.
y'all feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling?
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Oh, okay.
Look at the
Thank
family.
you for watching. Thank you for watching. Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh my God!
Look at the family.
That was emotional.
Yeah, it was.
Look at the family.
When I saw that kid walk out there with that.
I'm like, when he first started talking, I was getting a little nervous, but then I was like, wow.
One more day.
One more day, baby. One more day. One more day. Let's go, family. Let's go. Yes, indeed. We in the building.
All right, hey guys, Collin County, Judge Roach has just been recused off of the case. So it was, man, I don't even know how to describe the intense moment in the courtroom when they said that he will be removed off of the case. Everybody came out shouting. Everybody came out. Everybody's coming out right now. So there's another hearing tomorrow. He has been recused off of this case.
Get him out of here.
Okay, you are hearing it here first.
Get him out of here. Kick rocks. Yeah, kick rocks. You thought you finna run off in the wind after railroading now, brother? Yeah, kick rocks. Yeah, this gonna be on your record. Yeah.
Reporting live from Collin County, Judge Roach has been recused. He is no longer going to be the judge over Karmelo. We got one more day tomorrow.
One more day.
But you can see the atmosphere out here. Let me show you
Look
guys.
at the family out there. Look at the family. Look at the team out there. Yeah. Look at the family representing, standing 10 toes down. Salute to the family out there.
How you feeling, sis? How you feeling? Pretty
Man,
girl. How
I
you
love to see it. Look at the family, man. Look at the family, man. The family out there for our brother. Yeah, we here. Oh, y'all just forget about Karmelo Anthony. Y'all just forget about Karmelo Anthony. No. What you got to say now? Yeah, the family out there. Yeah. Look at the family. Yeah, one more day, family. One more day. One more day. That's all we need. Tomorrow gonna be big time. Yes, indeed, family. Yeah, look at the family. Look at the family. Stop playing with us. I know y'all mad. I know y'all mad. I know y'all mad. They so mad, family. They mad at this. I told you, when we united like this, family, when we on code and united like this, they can't deal with us. They don't know what to do. That's why you heard that defense attorney say, yeah, this. I know Karmelo Anthony supporters are happy. This their first win throughout the whole trial. Wrong. Karmelo Anthony still alive. Austin Metcalf is worm food.
All right, hey y'all. So I am going to go over everything that happened.
So I just wanted to highlight the family. I just wanted to show you guys what was going on, right? Let me highlight this pastor that was there today, right? He said something about Judge Roach. He's a pastor in the community, and he had something to say regarding the recuser of Judge Roach. This is, what's his name? Pastor Freddie. Dallas pastor and Congress candidate Freddie Haynes. Let's see what he got to say.
I've never seen a judge in the aftermath of a trial decide to go public and, basically make a statement that made it out that everything went well, everything was done right.
Exactly.
You don't have that authority. You don't have that's not within your purview.
He jumped the gun. That's what he did. He got a little bit too excited.
And so for me, that was shocking. As a layperson, I am not an attorney, but that was shocking that he would do that and basically pat himself on the back, pat Collin County on the back. You can't do that, especially when, again, there's the hope for a motion for, an appeal.
Right.
And so I think that he jumped the gun and, that made us question if we could have a fair trial.
Exactly. He jumped the gun. He got a little bit too excited, right? He patted himself on the back. He let Collin County know that, I upheld my end of the bargain. I railroaded Karmelo Anthony. I don't know if he was auditioning for a position as mayor, maybe governor, maybe a Congress seat. I don't know. But for him to sit down and do a one-on-one interview 2 days later, he just couldn't help himself, family. He wanted his 15 minutes of fame. He wanted to put his face in front of the media, right? He wanted to let Collin County know that, yeah, I got it. I got y'all back. Because he also stated in the interview that the reason why the trial was only 5 days is because he wanted to rush it and get it out of the way so Collin County can heal, right? That was his excuse for the reason why he rushed this case and he held court on a Saturday, something that he never did. Something that he never did. He wanted to rush this trial instead of taking his time, being fair, allow Karmelo Anthony to have a fair trial, but you rushed it so that Collin County can heal. Heal from what? Heal from what? So that's what's got your stupid ass off the case, ladies and gentlemen. Off the goddamn case. Salute to Karmelo Anthony. I know a lot of people saying that he looked small, right? Looked like he lost some weight. He's in prison, right? He's dealing with a lot. He's stressed out. He got convicted of 35 years when he know he was innocent. All he did was protect himself. And, that put a lot on him. It's a lot on his plate. He's a 19-year-old young man. But we going to keep fighting for him. So shout out to the family that showed up and showed out for Karmelo Anthony. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, right? Everybody mad at us right now. They so mad at us, family. They pissed off at us because we got this win today in court. But the most important win is going to be tomorrow, right? Arguments for a retrial. And I believe we're going to get granted a new trial, family. I believe we are going to get granted a retrial. Because why would you recuse Judge Roach? You ain't just recuse him because of no interview. I understand the interview played a big part. But, behind closed doors, y'all know what he did was foul. Y'all know what he did was foul. Making that trial so secretive, shutting down the courthouse, not allowing media to be present during the trial, an all-white jury. And then you going to come out and do a 18-minute interview talking about the jury made the right decision. So you agree, you shouldn't even be having that type of opinion, sir. So that let us know your bias during this trial. Kick rocks. Kick rocks. So shout out to the family that's down there standing on business behind Karmelo Anthony like I said they was. I told you they was. So family, we going to continue to stand 10 toes down behind Karmelo Anthony. We going to be here tomorrow. We going to represent, right? And we going to support our brother. Just like that. So you guys know that Nolan Wells' birthday was today. He turned 19. Happy heavenly birthday to Nolan Wells. So this were his enemies, right? I like to call him Jax, Warren, Morgan, Bart, all of them his enemies or his associates. That's what I like to call him. Nolan helped, Miss Mel said, Nolan helped Karmelo on his birthday get justice since he didn't get a chance at life. You ain't lying about that. You ain't lying about that, Miss Mel. That's a fact. So this what Edwards had to say, right? The attorneys that's representing those white devils over there. He said, a message from Warren, Jax, and Morgan. On this special day, August 19th, just like every day, we honor and remember our dear friend Nolan Wells. He was the brightest of lights who touched many lives including ours. His memory will shine on in our hearts always. So they couldn't come out publicly and say this. They had to relate their birthday wishes through their lawyer. And these supposed to be Nolan Wells' alleged best friends, brothers, that they got to send a message through their attorneys to wish him a happy birthday on social media. All y'all got to do is reactivate y'all page and wish him a happy birthday. Y'all already didn't say rest in peace. So y'all want to go out here and do this performative act, acting like y'all care about his birthday. Man, stop it. Stop it. We coming for y'all. Don't worry. That smoke is coming for y'all. Talking about he bright up the lights. Man, these folks is out of their goddamn mind. These boys, every time I just look at them, every time I review a video of them, I get pissed off more and more. Every day I get pissed off. I get pissed off more and more. So family, as you guys know, that the district attorney finally decided to break her silence regarding her not upholding her end of the bargain regarding this agreement that she made with Nolan Wells' family and their attorneys, right? They said that it was going to be a mutual agreement that they examiner, the FBI, and, the sheriff department all come together and go over the phone and download the phone. And she came out 2 days ago demanding that the family surrender the phone within 48 hours, knowing, because I know she knew that they was not in town to make that happen. They was at the Black Journalist Conference, right, speaking there, and she knew that. She knew that. But she decided to make a statement publicly instead of calling their attorneys. So she made a statement on Today, family, addressing the backlash, because she getting backlash for real. She getting backlash for real. And now all of a sudden she want to come out and speak. Let's get it, family. Smash that like button.
Reporting live from Hypers Club, Fight Plus News, I'm John Abba. Breaking news, Mississippi DA Angel Myers McIlrath has now finally responded to cover-up accusations and corruption claims involving the investigation of Nolan Wells' mysterious death. Since the beginning of this case, online users have been vocal about their suspicions and their lack of trust with state officials assigned to figuring out what happened to Nolan Wells. As we all know, Wells' death is publicly determined. Several things in the investigation have been completed, like Wells' state autopsy. As district attorney, I do not have the same.
Oh, somebody said in the chat. Somebody in the chat said, "Where's rock face Megyn Kelly?"
Who thinks they're going to be able to turn around this just conviction. Good luck. Good luck.
I know you mad, Megan. I know you mad. Yeah, I know you mad. Just like when you seen that sworn affidavit stating that those boys was racist pieces of shit. Yeah, I know you was mad. I know you had a Mayo attack. I know you somewhere sliding down the wall, snots and boogers all in your nose. I know you mad. Good luck. Good luck.
Legal team who thinks they're going to be able to turn around
Look at her.
this
Hey,
just conviction. Good luck. Good luck.
Oh, I know you mad, Megan. I know you mad. Stay mad, though. Stay mad. Because we still got work to do. We ain't done, family. We ain't done.
Freedom to share information publicly that private individuals may have. For example, I do not have the freedom to release letters I've sent in this investigation, discuss witness cooperation, or the testing of evidence. I do not have the freedom to identify what information is verified and what information is false. I do not have the freedom to publicly adopt a narrative and choose one fact over another. Nor do I control the information released by private individuals who are not part of the investigation team. I cannot control whether private individuals release letters they have sent to me, just as I cannot prevent them from releasing letters I have sent to them. I cannot control which facts or bits of information are shared or whether that information is being shared in context, twisted, or misconstrued. Public commentary does not make the speaker transparent. Just like exercising restraint consistent with the laws does not make the process corrupt. The fact that something is said does not necessarily mean it's actually true. Prosecutors are held to the highest ethical standard under the law, as we should be. The people we serve deserve no less. I understand that a void is perceived when some are speaking publicly about a matter while others do not. I would be stepping outside the bounds of the law if I were to fill that void and share information publicly.
You saying that you would step out of the law if you feel that void about being transparent about this case, right? But leaked information is getting leaked in your department, but you don't want to make a statement about that. You got Chris Cuomo and Brandon Tatum and Bart Simpson attorney talking about they seen the autopsy. You said that information was sealed, district attorney, but you want to give us this long synopsis about how you can't be talking to the public because it's against the law. I can't do this. We got to keep the evidence concealed. We don't want to hear that, ma'am. Y'all are already compromised. Y'all are corrupt down there. Y'all are corrupt. And the district attorney is feeling that heat. She's feeling that heat. But it's funny to me that you want to make a release a statement because people has been putting that pressure on you, but you decided to, backtrack on the agreement with the family regarding the phone. Why you don't want to address that?
Public pressure being placed on my office, filling that void would only serve to get pressure off of me. Nolan deserves better. There is no pressure that can be placed on me and no force that is greater than the weight of the oath I took and my responsibility to the people I serve. My obligation and commitment is to present the grand jury with all the evidence collected in this case in order for them to reach a decision based on a thorough investigation, complete evidence presentation, the actual truth, and an understanding of the law. I am obligated to do so in keeping with the law and the rules of the court. On July 23, 2026, I released a recorded statement explaining the process and what the people of Jackson County should expect in this matter. There is nothing more to be shared at this time. I caution the public about assigning trustworthiness to things they read and see online. I also ask, rather than those individuals demanding that I step outside the bounds of the law and make public statements, we all step back and allow the process to work and allow us to do the job we were elected to do. I stand firmly on the rule of law and my ethical.
She said, I caution the public about assigning trustworthy things they read and see online. But you see these people out here discussing the autopsy of Nolan Wells. You see these people out here because you hearing everything that's being said because you addressing it. Because you doing all this babbling. We don't want to hear none of this, ma'am. We don't want to hear none of this. We don't want to hear that you want to have a thorough investigation and you want to gather all information and hand it over to the grand jury. That's why I can't make no statements and talk to the public and be transparent. Ain't nobody telling you to go in great detail about, certain evidence that you have. But, ma'am, you can come to the public and say something. You owe us this, ma'am. We are the public. You can say something. You the one that came out and said that you want to be transparent with people. Then you want to go run, hide, and keep making these statements. And then you want to renege on your agreement with Nolan Wells' mother demanding the phone within 48 hours when you know that they're not even in town. And now you want to say that you don't want to do a joint venture anymore with downloading the phone. Why you want to do that? What changed, district attorney? All of a sudden, you changed. July 15th, when they went to your office and met with you in person, you agreed to a joint venture. More hands on deck. The more, the better. Now, all of a sudden, you sending out statements talking about surrender the phone within 48 hours. And now you doing all this goddamn babbling. We don't want to hear this shit.
Obligations. That is what the people of Jackson County elected me to do. I will present the grand jury with a thorough, complete, and fair investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. Now, the reason for this response looks to be in direct connection with several recent emails released that were directed to her office from Wells's family representatives.
Man, this lady, in my opinion, is trying to run an interference and cover this case up. Because you guys remember when this video was released, right? Because they was receiving a lot of pressure, right? We was turning up. We still is. We turning the heat up on Ocean Springs, Mississippi right now. So she had to come out and make this statement and let people know, guys, I promise you, we working day in and day out and trying to make sure that we find out what happened to Nolan. Nolan was a member of our community. We love Nolan, and we are going to find out what happened to Nolan. So, District Attorney, why did your sheriff say that he don't expect no foul play? Why did the governor say that? Why did the mayor say that? Why y'all doing all these dog whistles? That's why we putting belt to ass to you, DA. That's why you went into hiding. Now, all of a sudden, you want to make statements. You want to send out statements instead of being transparent with the public. Because she hear what's going on. She see what we saying, family. She see it. Best believe that.
In which the most recent email would address a demand she would allegedly make for Wells's family to turn in his cell phone for examination within a 48-hour window, along with claims that she and her office were not following the path of a joint examination of Wells's phone, as agreed upon when she would meet Wells's family and their attorney Benjamin Crump on July 15th.
This was the day, family. This press conference was the day that they met with her. This was July the 15th, the day that they walked out of her office after agreeing with doing a joint venture with their examiner, her examiner, and the FBI, so they can do it one time and one time only. Now here come almost 2 months later. Now she's saying that she don't want to do it no more. She don't want to do no joint venture anymore. Looks very suspicious, DA. Look very, very suspicious. Why you don't want to be transparent with the public anymore? Why you trying to make it seem like the family not cooperating? Because she's trying to indulge in the smear campaign on Nolan Wells and his family. Because she know how that is going to look by sending out that statement saying that they got 48 hours, knowing damn well that they not in town. She know that. That's why you hear all these Sambos, all these low IQ Neanderthals talking about she don't want to give up the phone. She's hiding evidence. If she really want to know what happened to her son, why she won't give up the phone? She's helping pushing this narrative that Christine and her team don't want to cooperate. She's helping that narrative. Shout out to Divine One coming in with the $5 super chat. Pressure butts bust pipes, Miss DA. Yes, indeed, Miss Divine One. Shout out to you. I appreciate you.
On July 15th, your letter sent to Eric Hertz on August 12th at 12:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time set a deadline for the Wansleys to deliver the phone to your office by August 14th at 9 a.m. This is not practicable for a number of reasons. First, the date and time you proposed provided less than 48 hours notice. Moreover, the Wansleys were outside Mississippi when your letter was sent and are not scheduled to return until after the deadline you unilaterally imposed. Second, the parties never agreed to simply deliver the phone to your office. Instead, the agreement was that we would set a mutually agreeable date and time for the phone to be examined together by your office's forensic professionals, our forensic professionals, and possibly the FBI as well. For some who would take notice.
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that. The parties never agreed to deliver the phone to your office. Instead, the agreement was that we would set a mutual agreement date and time for the phone to be examined together by your office forensic professionals and our forensic professional and possibly the FBI as well. This is in black and white, District Attorney. Christine them have published the email and the statement that they sent your office. They went to your office and met with you in person, and y'all came up with this agreement. Now you allowing these people to run with this narrative like she don't want to cooperate with your office because they not in town, and you didn't even reach out to him. You want to make a public statement talking about they got 48 hours instead of just calling them. All you had to do was pick up the phone or call Benjamin Crump and say, hey, we are ready now. I got my forensic team ready. Let's set up a date and time like we agreed on July 15th. But what did she do, family? Make a public statement saying that they got 48 hours to release the phone. They didn't agree with that. She is indulging in this cover-up. Shout out to Pretty in Pink coming in with the $5 super chat. Great reporting. Thank you so much for that, Pretty in Pink. I appreciate you. Again, let me read this one more time for the low IQ Neanderthals in the back. This is their agreement, family. The parties never agreed to simply deliver the phone to your office, District Attorney. Instead, the agreement was that we would set a mutual agreement, date, time for the phone to be examined together by your office professionals, our forensic professionals, and possibly the FBI as well. So why you don't want to talk about this agreement that we had with you, District Attorney? Why you allowing the public to run with this narrative, make it seem like that Nolan Wells' family don't want to cooperate with you? Why are you allowing this to happen? Because they running with this narrative. Oh, they all over social media, the mainstream media, the Sambo class, the low IQ community, all of them acting like they got a gotcha. Right? They are bashing Nolan Wells' family right now because why she ain't giving up the phone? It's very suspicious why she ain't giving up the phone. The phone is key evidence. For one, the phone is not important to them because they could have subpoenaed the phone. They could put out a warrant for the phone. They could have demanded the phone day one, but they didn't. We are voluntarily giving up the phone to them. They don't want to do nothing about this phone. They never wanted to retrieve this phone. And you can see that in display right now by this district attorney behavior. This is very unprofessional of this lady to come out here and make a broad statement like that after meeting with Christine and her family on July the 15th. I spoke to you in your face and we agreed how we gonna make this poppin'. We agreed how we gonna get this done. 2 days later, you putting out an ultimatum. Give me the phone right now in 48 hours. Come on now, family. Come on now. Stop playing. Shout out to Diva coming in with the $10 super chat. Everyone in state positions or government should lose their jobs for hindering this case, starting with the DA. Facts. Can't do a agreement, then backpedal. This some backwards ish. She should get fired right now. Today. She should lose her job right now. But they not going to do it because all of them are working together in cahoots to try to undermine this case, Diva. That's what they doing. Shout out to you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you.
And possibly the FBI as well. For some who would take notice of this letter, they would immediately sound off across social pages and further accuse McIlrath and Mississippi officials assigned to the case for shady tactics and potential strategies to disrupt any legitimate findings about Wells' passing.
On July the 15th, the Mississippi DA agreed to jointly examine Nolan Xavier Wells' cell phone. But now all of a sudden, August the 12th, you give Nolan's mom 48 hours to hand in the cell phone, and now you no longer want to examine it together. If that's not corruption, I don't know what is. What changed between July the 15th and August the 12th? What are you afraid to show Nolan's mom in that cell phone? Oh, and the corruption doesn't just stop there. You gave Nolan's mom 48 hours to produce that phone while she was out of town, and you know it was impossible for her to give you that phone in those.
And she knew that. She knew that because Nolan Wells' parents are all over social media. She knew, and she's probably seen them down there at the Black Journalists Conference speaking on the behalf of their son. She saw that and she decided to, you know what? I can get him now. Let me go make a public statement saying that they need to surrender the phone, and we ready to see the phone within 48 hours, and they team can't be a part of it. Just me. Just us. Yeah, that's the only way we'll download the phone. Y'all can't be a part of it anymore. Why not? I changed my mind. You changed your mind? What the hell?
48 hours.
For some online, Wells' friends who he traveled to the island with have remained key persons of interest. Now, at the top of July, McIlrath would become a discussion.
So, family, now it's time. We see what the DA trying to do, family. We see what the DA trying to do. It's very clear that the DA
now, Katie McCormick
is trying to run an interference on this case. So we about to highlight the Mississippians, right? Because the people down there in Mississippi, they got something to say about this. The people that's on TikTok, they're doing great investigation work. Shout out to the content creators that's out here solving this case, because the district attorney seems like that she don't really give a damn about this case, right? She just want to hide behind emails and statements and renege on agreements. This is how I know that this is a cover-up waiting to happen. Yeah, Nolan Wells just drowned. No foul play. That's what they trying to set up, family. But we ain't allowing that to happen.
Now, I told y'all that the proof was in the pudding. I told you the proof was in the pudding. Now, Katie McCormick has not spoken, but Katie McCormick's sister has spoken. And she said that them boys that Nolan be with, they lying. She said, yeah, that ain't what happened. She said Nolan said he was finna get back on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But Warren said Nolan said he was staying. He wasn't going. He was going to catch another ride. But Katie's sister, so you know Katie done told her sister, that ain't what happened. Nolan went and got back on the boat. What happened on the boat, Warren?
Yeah, what happened?
What happened on the boat, Wyatt? And the other boy, what happened?
Bart Simpson. Damn it, Bart. Yeah, what happened on the boat? Wyatt, we haven't heard from you. Why you not talking? Wyatt's little brother. Why haven't you been talking? I thought Nolan was your best friend, huh? I thought Nolan Wells was your brother. Why are you not talking? Why do y'all have to send messages through y'all attorneys?
Yeah, y'all was inebriated? Something accidentally happened? Y'all decided to make it look like a drowning?
Yep.
Y'all made another phone call? Because we know y'all didn't get no tow. We know y'all called for a tow, but we know y'all didn't get towed.
They called for a tow, and this is how you know none of this makes sense. That CTO call, them calling CTO don't make sense, family. Because if they telling us that that picture was at the exact moment that they called CTO, Bart is there towing them. So why would Wyatt be on the phone if they are being towed? That's stupid. And another thing, family, they told Nolan, allegedly in their words, that they told Nolan to get on the boat. They had to leave the island because the boat was sinking. Why would y'all leave the island in a sinking boat? That is very dumb. That don't make sense, right? None of this makes sense.
So don't lie like you did. We know you didn't get told.
And the first thing that Wyatt did was call off the Coast Guard. When a dispatcher asked him, hey, do you want the Coast Guard to come? No, we don't need no Coast Guard. Okay, what the hell you call us for? What do you want? What was the point of you calling us if you just turning down all the help that I'm trying to give you? So the dispatcher called the captain, and then the captain said, hey, I just spoke with the grandfather. The grandfather said that they don't need a tow. So what was the point of calling CTO? What was the point? Oh, your alibi. That's what it was. It was your alibi. The boat was not going down. There was no water in your boat, and y'all was not sinking.
And Katie said that ain't what happened. So no, Nolan wanted to get back on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last time she seen Nolan. Nolan ain't stay well on the island. So somebody lied.
That's why Katie took the lie detector test and she passed. That's why Katie took the lie detector test. That's why she cooperated with law enforcement. That's why she dropped receipts, because they trying to push, push Nolan off on her. When she was like, hold on, wait. The last time I seen Nolan, he was getting on a boat with y'all. That's the last time I seen Nolan. Nolan was not with me. Katie's sister came out and said, we wasn't kicking it with Nolan. It was just like a, hey, what's up? And we was going about our business. Because at 5 and 6 o'clock, Katie was on a boat headed back to shore. Nolan was nowhere to be found. And then all of a sudden, these imaginary witnesses appeared saying, hey, I seen Nolan at 6, but they don't got no proof or no evidence of it. They don't got no picture, no videos. No pictures or videos of Nolan the entire time on this island on the 4th of July. But you know who do got pictures and videos? Wyatt, Morgan, Jax. They made sure that they snapped up during the alleged CTO call, but they didn't want to snap up with their brother and best friend during the holiday celebration. But y'all found the perfect opportunity to take a picture of y'all just standing around doing the mannequin challenge.
And who else Nolan supposed to be getting a ride with? I know y'all say y'all had 3 boats out there. Huh? What they was?
They had 3 or 4 boats. That's what the attorney said. The attorney said it was like a group of 30. They was on 3 or 4 boats. So you mean to tell me all of y'all left that island without Nolan? Because Wyatt said, I went on another boat. I didn't ride with Nolan out there. Everybody rolled on a different boat, right? And it was allegedly 3 or 4 boats out there that they all rode out to Horn Island on. And all of them left that island without Nolan. You mean to tell me all of y'all, only one boat was sinking? That was Wyatt's boat. So why did the other 3 leave? And why did they leave Nolan if Nolan rode with y'all? Okay.
Warren, Wyatt, somebody lying.
All of them lying.
Now, anytime I go on a trip, I'm pretty sure you too, you're going to get some pictures, you're going to get some videos. And the reason why we know they deleted them pictures and them videos is because the other night when Warren did that interview with Brandon.
Pussy Tatum.
Brandon ever asked him for some photos or some videos they took out there? He ain't asked him that, did he?
No, he didn't ask him that because Warren is trying to convince us that nobody have their phone on the island. Nobody take pictures. We clearly seen people on their phone on the island, in the water, on the boat, on the island. We seen countless of people on their phone, so that was a lie. So Warren had to overly explain why Nolan didn't have his phone, right? But they made sure that they took pictures. They took videos. But there's no pictures or videos of Nolan. So you mean to tell me Nolan did Snapchat not one time? Not even at the beginning of the day? Right? And then Warren is trying to convince us that's normal. We live in the moment. That's probably the same thing that Lucas said in the Daniel Irvin's case, right? The Daniel Irvin's case is the prime example of these low IQ Neanderthals are very, devilish individuals. Lucas was the guy that was arrested for tampering with evidence, right? After Daniel Irvin's body was pulled out of the lake, Lucas decided to not call 911, not render aid, not do CPR, not help his black friend out, not call 911, but instead he grabbed Daniel Irvin's phone, deleted all communications, took his clothes, threw it in the tree, threw his phone in the ditch, and drove off. And they ruled his unaliving no foul play. No foul play after y'all arrest somebody for deleting communication. And you think Warren them didn't get in that phone and allegedly do some deleting? Man, stop playing with us.
Did he ask him that? You got any videos from that day, photos from that day? You know, because that's what I do with my friends. We make sure we, capture some memories. You understand what I'm saying? And Katie might well come out of hiding. You might well come on out, Katie, and say what you know publicly. Ben Crump talking one thing. Maybe you can talk a little bit better. Nothing against Ben, but yeah. So when them pictures at, when them videos at? Talking about Nolan got on the boat. Something happened.
Definitely.
What was y'all mad because y'all wanted the girl, but the girl didn't want y'all? She wanted somebody else. What happened? Maybe it wasn't about no girl. Maybe it was about something else, and y'all just don't want to talk about it. Huh? What is it? Y'all might well go and tell the truth because it's coming out.
It's coming out for sure. By them, all of them having different attorneys, we know the truth is about to come out. All of them are not on one accord right now. Everybody is split up with their own attorneys, and their attorneys is going to do what's best for their client.
Like the son said, I come too far to turn around. The truth coming out. The truth ain't finna turn around.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Let's talk about the Nolan Wells thing for a second. I was on a live last night, and this is the honest to gosh truth, and I'm going to even post in the hashtags where you can go find and listen to it. So here's what happened.
Smash that like button, family. Smash that like button. Let's go.
They killed Nolan Wells on the boat.
God damn, Papa. Hold on, Papa. Allegedly, Papa. Papa, you came in too strong. Hold on, Papa. Papa said, damn, all that. Those boys did it. Those devils did it. Hold on, Papa. Hold on, Papa. God
Come
damn.
on now, dog. Come on,
Papa
man.
said, I ain't got time to be playing no games with y'all. Right? If y'all gonna come after me, come after me. Papa said they done it. He know it. He know his people. They done it.
Everybody, how y'all doing this morning? Let's talk about the Nolan Wells thing for a second. I was on a live last night, and this is the honest to gosh truth, and I'm going to even post in the hashtags where you can go find and listen to it. So here's what happened. They killed Nolan Wells on the boat.
Papa don't care.
They covered him up with the life jackets.
Uh-oh.
They all knew he was on the boat. They just laid him on the back of the boat.
Wow.
And got towed in part of the way. Then they got their boat running, and they got on in.
Damn.
And when they got in, they couldn't figure out where they were going to put him or what they were going to do. So they dropped everybody off. Then they went back out to the island that the GPS doesn't show. But they did because they disconnected it.
Wow.
Okay? And none of them had their phones with them when they went back. So there wasn't any trace of them going back. And they dumped the body.
And that makes sense, family. That makes a lot. Papa ain't playing. Papa don't give a damn. Papa is a straight shooter. He's telling you straight up. Them devils done that. He's giving you play by play. And he's making a lot of sense. He's making a lot of sense, family, because if you look at that damn mannequin challenge picture and video, they just standing around, act like they ain't, they just weren't screaming on that audio. They just act like they weren't just screaming, oh my God, is he dead? Damn it, Bart. But they just standing there cool, quiet, just on the phone. Everybody go look for Nolan on the 4th. They didn't find him. Everybody go out there July 5th. They didn't find him. July 6th, all of a sudden, Nolan body appears. Yeah, okay. Shout out to Darius coming in with the $2 super chat. Just showing your boy some love. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you.
They came back, took the boat out of the water, then went over there at 3 a.m. and watched the boat.
They did do that, family. Witnesses said that they seen them allegedly washing that boat out at 3 a.m. They saw them cleaning that boat out at 3 a.m. allegedly. Right? Pawpaw is letting y'all know. Right? Pawpaw, he's not stuttering. He's not saying allegedly. And I guarantee you, they're not going to come after Pawpaw. Pawpaw probably ready. He probably got that pension. He got that money. He ready to go to court. Yeah, tell me I'm lying. Prove me wrong. Pawpaw ain't saying no allegedly. None of that. He ain't saying my opinion, nothing. He said, yeah, them boys done it. And he's giving you step-by-step play because he know his people.
Thinking washing the boat would get all the DNA and everything off the boat. That's what they did. Now, I'm telling you, the stories are unbelievable at this point.
Right.
You can't make this up. You know, first, it was about leaving the island. Well, that one blew up. Found out 2 people were at the island, saw him. Then,
allegedly saw him. I don't believe nobody saw him. I don't believe nobody saw Nolan. Somebody gotta literally show me a video or a picture, a timestamp picture of Nolan on that island at 6 o'clock, family. I don't believe it. Especially when it's coming from that side. I definitely don't believe it. If TMZ telling me this, if Brandon Tatum telling me this, if those devils telling me that some witnesses seen Nolan at 6, but they don't want to give us no detail about what he was doing, who was around him, none of that, I don't believe it.
The Coast Guard, Coast Guard call, CETO call. Nolan, oh my God, Nolan.
So you mean to tell me this 80-year-old man, 70, 80-year-old man heard, oh my God, Nolan on the audio, but the attorney want to make it seem like that we are lying? So this older gentleman, this fine gentleman, said that he heard all that on that audio. But Brandon Tatum talking about he ain't heard nothing. The attorney's talking about they ain't heard nothing. The audio was doctored. So you mean to tell me this older gentleman heard exactly what we heard? So I guess, family, our ears ain't playing tricks on us. So I guess our ears is not deceiving us if this older gentleman heard exactly what we heard. Oh my God, Nolan, is he dead? Damn it, Bart. Damn it, Bart. So this guy, come on now, stop playing. Come on now, dog.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Let me play that back. Quit playing.
Call. Nolan. Oh my God, Nolan.
Oh my God.
Get up.
Get up.
They heard that.
Wow.
Can't make it up.
You can't make it up, Pops. You can't make it up. But you know what, Pawpaw? They telling us that we lying. They telling us that we lying, Pawpaw. Get them.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
They telling us that we lying, Pawpaw. They telling us that we didn't hear what we heard. They attacking our sister Janetta right now, saying that she doctored the audio. Her audio is fake. So Pawpaw heard it at his age. Let me guess, he's lying. He's making this up.
Not making it up. Then there was the phone, Warren's phone. Now, this. And also, last night, we have a bunch of body experts of their body movements in their interviews that they were not telling the truth.
We knew they was lying.
That they
look at the trolls.
Their body.
Look at the trolls in the building. The trolls are here and they mad. See, the trolls don't like when their community come out here and tell the truth. Like Pawpaw out here putting belt to ass. And I know this making the trolls mad. Welcome to the show, trolls. I know y'all was going to come in here sooner or later. Listen to y'all elders. So y'all elders is lying? Yeah, okay. Shout out to Paw.
Experts, they move their eyes like that, or moves like that, or they looked up, or something. But I'm telling you, the authorities should use these TikTok creators to solve this case. They are some of the smartest people you will ever encounter.
Shout out to the Tory Experience for being a channel member for 2 months. She said, Popo said, I ain't need no hearing aids.
They were talking about the justice system being unfair. I asked them what the 3 legislative bodies of justice were in the United States. They said, well, it's the state, the local, and the sheriff. Okay. It's amazing when you ask a simple question, you can't even get an answer.
Sure can't.
They don't know the port side from the starboard side on a boat, but yet they know all about boating.
Papa said they don't know ish about boating. They don't know ish. You can't even get an answer out of these devils. They can't even answer a simple, direct question. And nobody want to address, damn it, Bart. Nobody want to address, damn it, Bart. Y'all heard that attorney yesterday on the live stream avoiding, tap dancing, moonwalking his ass up out of that conversation. He don't want to even address it. He just want to say that the transcript is the reason why we heard this. Right? And this elderly man heard the same exact things.
It's absolutely amazing, people. And if you will sit back and listen to some of these other lives, I'm going to post the live on my link. If you want to listen to a rational discussion of the best live on TikTok, I'm going to post it. Go over there and listen to it. I'm afraid if I say it, I may say it wrong. But that's my body language right there. So anyway, y'all.
So let me play this video of this professional body language lady. This body language expert on Warren and his friends.
Okay, some of you tagged me in this. Nolan Wells' friends. Is there anything we can tell? Did they have anything to do with his disappearance? I'm body language expert and behavior analyst Tracy Brown. This is really a good one. Stay tuned for my analysis.
We loved him dearly. Nolan was like a brother to us, and I can say without a doubt, nobody wants to know what happened to him more than we do. I mean, we want to know what. I mean, Nolan was like a brother to all of us. We loved him dearly. Nolan was like a brother to us, and I can say without a doubt, nobody wants to know what.
Okay, first thing, I've been teasing a very big announcement. It's coming Tuesday, August 18th. That's 2026. And so make sure you sign up for my newsletter to know about it first. All right. First thing here is that the reason I like this clip so much is that it's the kind of clip that we don't get a lot because we don't have to look at the person talking all the time. We actually get the truth.
Shout out to the Tory Experience coming in with the $5 super chat. Good work, gentlemen. Dan Karmelo is coming home. Big shout out to the A1 Legal Defense Team. and all of you excellent black folks for standing on business. Shout out to you, the Tory Experience, for that. We appreciate you. Yeah, when that legal team came on board, oh, everybody was mad. They was pissed off. They was scrambling all over the place. They didn't know what to do. When they got on board, they got straight to business. They got straight to work. Straight to work. And as you can see, it's paying off, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Diva coming in with the $2 super chat. Can't say Popo is see now. He heard what he heard. Show can't, Diva. Shout out to you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you.
Reactions to the comment, and that's really the most important information if you want to know how people are really responding to any kind of situation, because they're going to feel more free and open and like the spotlight's not on them, and so you're going to see more reactions at that point. Now, guy number 1 says we loved him dearly, and then he doesn't know what else to say. He looks to who I'm going to call guy number 2 for support.
Yeah, let's find it. I wanna play that. I wanna play when Morgan done that. When he done that, that lets me know everything about this guy. This guy literally was in mid-sentence talking about I loved him dearly, and then he just stopped. Look at this guy.
Dearly. We loved him dearly.
Wow. Like look at this devil. Look at this guy. Look at his face, family. Look at his face after saying that I loved him dearly. So you can talk about your last experience with Nolan. You can bring up high school memories. Anything. You just stopped mid-sentence and looked over to Jax to pick up the scrap.
We loved him dearly. Nolan was like a brother to us.
Bro.
Look
at him. He know he fucked up.
Say without a doubt, nobody wants to know what happened to him more than we do.
He like, damn.
I mean, we want to know what. I mean, Nolan was like a brother to all of us.
He was like a brother.
We loved him dearly. Nolan was like a.
Look, Warren, like, God, this idiot just meant so. You couldn't stick to the lines, dude. We told you what to say. We told you to say that Nolan was like a brother. We love him. We want to know what happened to him and all this. You just stopped mid-sentence. Devils, family, devils.
And after he gets this backup, we see him smile a little bit. And you wouldn't think that there should be a smile at that point. Is it a little bit of relief? Possibly, but there's something else going on here. Because when he thinks the camera's off him, at least when the spotlight is off him there, when he's not speaking, we see his mouth go to the side. And that's that oops sign there. That's the oops gesture. So he knows he screwed up, and he's really stressed about it because we see his tongue roll around the inside of his mouth.
Yep.
And that is the sign of I got away with something.
Yep. Shout out to AQ coming in with the $2 super chat. Can we get justice for Nolan from the Obamas? No, we're not. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. They worrying about their next speaking engagements, their next lecture, selling books. They don't give a damn about this type of situations. They don't care. But you know, when an election come about, they're going to tell you how you stupid and you sexist and you misogynist and you need to go out there and vote for the Democrat Party. That's when they going to want to come out the woodworks. Nah, they ain't coming out here when you actually got to put boots on the ground.
His lips go really, really tight, so he's holding in some information there. All right, let's move on to who I'm going to call guy number 3. Now, as he's listening there, we see him do some eye blocking when the concept of him being like a brother comes up. Okay, so his eyes close for just a little bit longer, so there's something there he doesn't want to see. He's either holding information out or holding it in. He shakes his head no, and it's small. Okay, so I think that's the negativity of the situation. He might have a little bit of sorrow going on there too. Of the 2 guys that we talked about here, he's the one that's the most congruent. So I'm especially suspect about that first guy. Now, all these little tells are going to help you not only find the truth in your own life, but it's really going to help you when you get involved with the announcement that I'm making on Tuesday, August 18th. So make sure you get good at this. It's going to pay off big for you. And now you know, TV.
So, family, I seen that Nancy Grace allegedly has information on two witnesses in this case that she presented on her show. So let's see what she got to say about this. Let's see what she got.
The Nolan Wells investigation.
Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this evening. She said altercation witnesses are merging. So she allegedly speaking on two witnesses that came forward.
Witnesses. Where? Who, what, where, why, and when?
6 p.m. The Triton, as you said, left around 4:30.
What witnesses? Where? Who, what, where, why, and when?
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop.
But I thought Tristan was the one that was fighting, yelling, "Give me my effing phone." Right? This is why I know Tristan is trying to run the interference on this, because Tristan, after that video, surface of that altercation on the island, when we heard "Give me my effing phone," when everybody was saying that was Nolan, Tristan popped up out of the woodwork, said, "That's not Nolan, that's me." Nolan Wells' coach popped up out of the woodworks, said that wasn't Nolan, that was Tristan. But they can't prove it. And this witness right here, this alleged witness, in their opinion, saying that was Nolan.
At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, "Hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys, and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady."
That from Secret Service Sam on TikTok. Okay, how is this helping the investigation? I'm trying to make sense of so many people online making comments. Now, if this is true, if there is a witness who has a husband with her on the boat and they took a certain amount of video, it could change everything, especially if the video is time stamped.
Yep.
Straight out to
every video is time stamped. If this true, if this witness is telling the truth, and they stated that they went to law enforcement, then the case over with. If this witness seen somebody beating up on Nolan, doing what saying that you are going to go to jail behind this. So obviously, we seen that video, family, that we went over of that altercation. All those people that were just standing there watching it. The guy in the blue shorts just stood there and watched it. The people that was on the boats just stood there and watched it. And they turned their heads.
Veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney Philip Dubé joining me. He's joining us out of L.A., formerly in the public defender's office. They try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all.
Yeah,
Look,
me neither.
I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Why?
Agreed. And it should go to the grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to
put him up.
Drinking and smoking. You know how many people were partying
Okay, man. Have you lost your mind? You defend criminal cases. I bet everybody you put on the stand has either been high, drunk, or worse.
He just had to discredit the witness. He just had to throw this in. I would examine her and see if she was drinking or smoking. What they got to do with anything if she's saying that she got a video, her husband got a video? Are you dumb, sir?
During the altercation, every witness is not a nun, a priest, or a virgin. Everybody on Horn Island was drinking, man. What are you talking about?
He sounds stupid.
I don't care if she took a drink. I want the video.
You want the truth, is what you want. You want the truth.
The truth is in the video, you idiot. Why are you talking about if she was drinking or high? If she's saying that she got a video of the altercation. She said she got a video. So why are you talking about her? I don't know who the hell Nancy Grace be finding these people, bro. I think she just find people so that she can yell at them. I think she find low IQ attorneys that's at the bottom of the barrel so that she can just yell at them.
And
that would be the video.
Remember, Nancy.
Okay.
Not consistent.
Brandon Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that?
That was dumb as hell.
Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson.
I honestly believe Nancy Grace bring Brandon Tatum on the show just to use him as a punching bag. Because she exposed him so many times about him lying about the lie detector test, and the attorneys came on her show and stated that they did not take a lie detector test. Some other dude took it and Katie took it and they passed. So if he lied about that, why would we even use him as a credible source about anything in this case?
Now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they had nothing to do with it. Let's just put that out there. He's interviewed them extensively. I want to talk about not what you want to talk about, Brandon Tatum, which is they had nothing to do with this, because I met them and I believe them. So noted. Can we talk about a potential witness to an altercation? And she seems to suggest it was over Katie. Why? Don't know what the altercation was. Maybe it was, hey, leave her alone and get on the boat. Or leave her alone, she's my girlfriend. Or it could be anything. But if there is a witness placing Nolan seemingly in the water, I can't tell that.
Shout out to Nathaniel coming in with the $2 super chat. What does drinking have to do with a video, stupid? Very dumb. Very dumb, very stupid. Shout out to you, Nathaniel, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you.
But having an argument with another person, a partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody.
Just because you haven't heard of it, that mean it ain't true? Just because you haven't heard of it, that means it's not true. If Brandon Tatum hasn't heard of anything, family, it's not true. He has to hear about it. He has to be the first that people need to come to and relate news to. Because all he's going to do is deny. I already know. I haven't seen this, by the way. But all I know, he's about to just deny. That's it.
I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real, and also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator,
why would they say that this altercation is real if they was gone? If they was gone, dum-dum, won't you think that they didn't see this altercation if they was gone? I thought you said they was gone. So either they on the island or they on the boat. Which one is it?
Investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And
how did he drown? There we go again with that drowning talk. There we go again. Defamation, slander. You do not know that Nolan Wells drowned. You have no information, no toxicology unless the DA leaked some information to you. See, Nancy Grace got on him before by saying this, and he can't prove it. Here he go again, slipping up, because Brandon Tatum has already made up his mind that Nolan Wells drowned. At first, he was talking about an altercation, about somebody said that they saw somebody do something to Nolan, and they was going to spend the rest of their life in jail. And now he's coming back that Nolan Wells drowned. Why you keep saying he drowned when you ain't got no proof of that? Nobody has confirmed that Nolan Wells drowned.
He not recover and come home to his family. So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
So just because you didn't hear it, and y'all right, family, I think Nancy be bringing him on this show just to use him as a punching bag. Like she be want to make her show entertaining, and she want to roast somebody, so she bring this idiot on her because she know what he's going to do. She know it.
Number one, he's dead shortly after an alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put together both circumstantial and direct evidence. Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
so
but Nancy,
it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies, and they were not connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any of the vital areas that could kill him.
He's
so
going
it doesn't
to deny,
appear that
this dude going to deny anything that doesn't go in his way. He's going to deny anything that go against his narrative, family. Every time some evidence appear that go against his narrative, he have to say that I didn't hear that. Did nobody tell me that? I don't believe it. That's not true. None of the guys told me that. I told you, family. Why would she? But I understand why she bring him on here now. I understand. Like, this is a clown show.
There's any indication that he lost a fight, that there was enough trauma in this particular fight that would lead to his death. And when you look at the autopsy, there is no blunt force trauma to his face. There is no lacerations or damages to the back of his head. This is redness that was underneath the skin.
Oh, wait, are you looking at the screen? Because I'm looking at a big red mark on the back of his head.
Yeah, but this is underneath the skin. This is not a big red gash that's in the back of his head, which would be consistent with blunt force trauma. This is something that occurred underneath the skin that could have been from pooling of blood after his death due to,
Okay, I need to explain something.
I'll let the experts talk about specifics, but it doesn't appear that.
Okay, let's do that. But I want everyone to understand why Officer Tatum is here. Officer Tatum and Philip Dubé and others on our panel tonight are taking a particular side.
Nancy Grace, she said, this is why I brought him here. This is why I told you she's making a fool of this idiot. She's using him as a punching bag, right? She's using him as an example. She said, the reason why he's here tonight, and she's showing you that he's taking a particular side. So any information that go against Bussy Tatum narrative, he's going to discredit it, and he's going to talk about how it's not true. He didn't hear it. But how can those individuals tell you about an altercation that happened on the island if they wasn't there? I thought they wasn't there. I thought they wasn't there.
Everyone to understand why Officer Tatum is here. Officer Tatum and Philip Dubé and others on our panel tonight are taking a particular side, right? It's called cross-examination, and it is similar to what happens in court. A theory emerges, a line of questioning emerges, and the other side tests it with fire under cross-examination. And then, hopefully, you get to the truth. Right now, we're talking about an alleged eyewitness to an altercation just before Nolan Wells is dead. If she has not handed this over to the police, it doesn't mean a hill of beans to me. But Tatum has a good idea, and that is, let's let an expert discuss it. To Joseph Scott Morgan, death investigator, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University. You can see him now on a hit podcast. It's on YouTube, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, if there had been not a blunt force trauma that Officer Tatum is describing, but a fist fight, if there had been a fist fight, plus body in water for multiple days, body decomposition, would you expect to see red marks on the hands at that juncture, on the face? What would you expect if there had been a fisticuffs?
Yeah, you would see, well, first off, above discolored areas, like consistent with contusions. If there are facial strikes or just body blows, you can actually see abraded areas over the surface of his fingers. And these are very subtle sometimes. And if there is decomposition, which we believe there is, particularly per the second autopsy that was performed, he didn't make note of this. And can I go one more step with this? And this is kind of graphic, but people need to understand this. This physician that did the second autopsy actually did what's referred to as a coronal sectioning of the face. So there were multiple incisions made into Nolan's face in this autopsy, this second autopsy. And this guy didn't see anything. He didn't see anything that was of import relative or indicative of blunt force trauma. And I would think that if there was contact, particularly if he's fighting a group of people, these sorts of things, you're going to have injuries probably on the leading edges, or what we refer to as the blade of the arm right here on the forearm, the back of the hands, the knuckles, those points of contact. And certainly if there's facial strikes going on with him, which we find with blunt force trauma many times with fisticuffs, as you say, you'll see these strikes, you'll see marks on the face. There's nothing to indicate that in the second autopsy. Now, what the state has, I don't know, but I do know this. I know they're saying they're done with the autopsy and that it's complete, which means the gross findings in the autopsy room, the tox, the histology, that means that autopsy report is complete. They just hadn't released their findings yet.
And speaking of that, Joe Scott Morgan, I've heard the same, that the autopsy is complete.
Yeah.
There are reports that there is no cocaine in Nolan's system.
Uh-oh. You know why she said this, right? You know why she said this. You know why she said there's no white stuff in his system. I think she brings Brandon Tatum on here to make a fool of himself, right? She giving him a little encouraging words, big him up, and then she slaughtered him. She said there was no alleged drugs in his system. Listen, family.
The same, that the autopsy is complete.
Yeah.
There are reports.
That
there is no cocaine in Nolan's system. as uncorroborated reports,
Okay.
but a good source. No cocaine in the system.
Yep.
Joe Scott, when the body has been in the elements, such as the water for
So
that
she
long,
said a resource told her that it was no cocaine in his system. I think she just brought Brandon Tatum on her to debunk all his lies. Because every time he come on her show, he just lie. He made up that story on his show saying that Nolan allegedly took some cocaine. That's what he said. Took some white stuff. Right? And she said her sources that's, credible to her said that there was no white stuff in his system.
how can I confirm if he had been drinking or not?
Oh, you can still pull a BA, blood alcohol or blood ethanol level, as it's referred to. And again, Nancy, we're not talking about someone that has been down for weeks and weeks. We can still do the BA, and it can come from urine, blood. We can still draw urine and find it pretty effectively. You'll have what's referred to as qualitative. We've talked about this before, and I know you understand that. But so our friends understand, you have a qualitative amount, which they say, yes, it is present. And then you have a quantitative amount where they do the measurement of the BAC, blood alcohol content. Just think about DWI, DUI, wherever you're from, those levels. And then we get up to those lethal levels. That's really what I'm interested in relative. And yeah, I'm interested in any of the other.
So focused on who had been drinking. Let's take a look at the video. Let me answer that for you. Everybody was drinking. Okay, everybody had a snootful. So even someone drinking can see an altercation, Dubé.
No, of course you can. I can see that crowd of people out there. It was a bustling, hot 4th of July afternoon.
Look at everybody got a can of something in their hand. Everybody got a can of something in their hand, but they have to run with the narrative that Nolan was heavily drinking. Look at Warren right here in this picture. Warren got 2 cans in his hand. Everybody in the water got cans in their hand. They got cans all over the boat. But let's just say that Nolan had lots of alcohol, had lots of drinks.
See an altercation, Dubé.
No, of course you can.
Shout out to Walt Diesel coming in with the $5 super chat. Same story that Brandon Tatum was talking about after the interview. The woman says she and her husband seen them. You going to prison for the rest of your life. Yeah, he did say that. He said the same thing. So why is he going to discredit what this person said if he went on his platform and said the same thing? And not only that, he added that Nolan Wells was on that white stuff. And some source reached out to Nancy and said that was not in his system. That was not in his system. But shout out to you, Walt Diesel, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Shout out to Diva coming in with the $5 super chat. If you get choked there, not going to be marks on the face, but that throat and lungs will let us know that what happened or forgot that the info is sealed. And I still want to know, Diva, has the independent examiner received the throat yet? Have they released the throat yet? Hey, District Attorney, can you at least let us know that so that the first examiner can finish his autopsy? Because when he finished his autopsy, he can tell us, because that's not sealed. So how about y'all release his throat so we can finish our investigation?
See that crowd of people out there. It was a bustling, hot 4th of July afternoon. But who's to say that the people that she saw included Nolan Wells? And that's why you got to get into her ability to perceive and recollect being impacted by intoxicants such as alcohol. What? I would want to know if she had imbibed. I really would. Not to mention, the autopsy findings thus far do not reflect any type of physical insults or injury to his body. At most, what you have are
I'm asking
signs.
you about your fixation on.
Shout out to Ashley coming in with the $10 super chat. Didn't say nothing, just showing your boy some love. Thank you so much for that, Ashley. I appreciate you.
The witness having been drinking. Joe Scott Morgan has already addressed the body. I'm talking to you about the alleged witness.
Yeah. If she had in fact been drinking, I do believe, unless they really have a video showing him in HD quality, showing that he was in a fight, then I would call her ability to perceive, recollect, and even state that there was an altercation going on in her presence.
You know, Brandon Tatum joining us, Officer Tatum.
So you mean to tell me that just because I'm drunk under the influence, I can't see a fight in front of me? Is this what this attorney is trying to say? That this lady was under the influence, and you really can't tell because it was a month and a half ago. So if she was under the influence or high or something, that just takes away your eyesight. Oh my, bro, these got to be the dumbest attorneys I ever seen in my life. Shout out to Natty Boy coming in with the $2 super chat. Not released yet. A perfect judo kick can unalive somebody. Exactly. But you already know, Natty Boy, their objective is right now is to deny anything. Just deny, deflect. That's all they're going to do. If anybody come forward and if the information don't go through them or Brandon Tatum, he's going to say that, oh, ain't nobody tell me that. I don't believe that. That's all they're going to do. That's why I don't take nothing that they say serious or credible. I think Nancy Grace just bring them on this platform to use them as a punching bag because she know how stupid these guests is that she bring on her show. Very stupid.
On YouTube, I've cross-examined a lot of witnesses, and I cross-examined them exactly on that. How far away were you? Did you know the target? Were you familiar with them? Was your vision obstructed by anything? Were you wearing glasses? Were you wearing sunglasses? What time of the day? I mean, I could go on and on. But unless you have a nun, a priest, or a virgin on the stand, or maybe Angel Gabriel might come down and testify, you have to take your witness as you find them. And I'm sure you've had a lot of drunk witnesses in Tucson.
But my thing is, why would you try to discuss a case with somebody that's clearly biased, Nancy? What's the point of talking to Brandon Tatum when you already know what he's going to do? He's already took a side. Brandon Tatum is already compromised. Why are you trying to get information from him? Why are you trying to talk to him logically when you know what he's going to do and say? It's pointless. Other than you getting a kick out of exposing him. That's the only reason why I can see Nancy keep talking to Brandon Tatum. You already know that he's going to lie and deny and deflect. He's already chose his side. So if anything, any information or evidence go against his narrative, go against those white devils that he is defending, he's not going to take it as a credible source.
Do everything from a bar fight to a murder to a dope deal. Look, I'd say a good 50% of witnesses were drunk at one time or the other. That doesn't mean they didn't see what they saw.
Well, from a law enforcement perspective, you know, this is not cross-examination on the stand. This is us, what I would deal with a witness is right on the scene. And I'm not too concerned of whether the person is drunk or not. I'm not going to test their blood alcohol level on the scene. I want to know specifically, what did you see? What are the identifying markers that you have to say that this is Nolan? If that person can describe them, maybe we'll do a show up. If we have like a video or a picture or something, we could show them and say, hey, does this match the person you think that was here? Then we'll have a good perspective. But there is a challenge here because you do have to identify him. You can't just say it was a black man out there with curly hair.
But that's what y'all been saying, Brandon Tatum. That's what y'all been saying. Y'all been running with this alleged 2 witnesses said that they seen Nolan at 6 o'clock. Y'all doing the same thing. So all of a sudden, this witness, right? This witness is not singing the same tune with the narrative that y'all trying to push. All of a sudden, she's not credible. It's not making sense. She got to explain and tell us that she had eyes on Nolan. But you, TMZ, those attorneys are saying that Nolan was on that island because 2 witnesses said they seen him. How we know that those witnesses are telling the truth? How we know that they just seen some random black guy sitting somewhere on the boat? Like, this is crazy. Like, are these people stupid or are they dumb?
Think it was Nolan. You're gonna have to have some clear identifying markers that this is Nolan. And then,
well, those witnesses that y'all are using as credible sources, they need to come out and say that they know that this is Nolan. How do they know that this is Nolan? Because y'all want to say, oh, they friends with Nolan. Oh, they friends. How we know that? Can they prove to us that they are friends with Nolan? Do they have pictures, videos? Can Warren or anybody state that they are part of the friend group? Can Javion verify this? Can Christine verify these 2 alleged witnesses that y'all running with? Y'all doing the same thing. But when it goes against your narrative, it's not credible, ladies and gentlemen.
Then you have to identify the people he was fighting with and the girl. And I think this person is going to have a big challenge. I saw this text message. We reached out to the girl on her social media. She never responded to us. I don't know if she ever really sent it in to the police.
Why would she respond to you when she see the corruption and the interference that you're trying to run on this case? If nobody talked to Brandon Tatum, all of a sudden it's not credible. He has to be the one that break the news. But he only is going to break the news that go against Nolan and his family. Right? He talking about, I reached out to the girl. See, I'm glad that she didn't respond to you. So you didn't have an opportunity to bribe her. Yeah, so your attorneys, all of y'all that's working in the cahoots, that's trying to sell your liquor, didn't have the opportunity to bribe her. Yeah.
It is problematic, in my opinion, if she hasn't. If you're going to say somebody is going to spend time in jail, or you are alluding to the fact they've committed a crime, and the fact now that we know that Nolan did not survive being out there at Horn Island, and you never submitted that to law enforcement, there's a potential that that's tampering with evidence. If you have evidence of a crime and you're withholding that from law enforcement, and you knowingly and intentionally are doing that, that could be very problematic for a person who claimed to be a witness.
No. Morally, it's wrong, but there is no duty under the law.
Right.
That you have to report yourself as a witness.
Exactly.
That you have to volunteer information.
Stupid.
You can stand on the side of a pool and watch somebody drown and do nothing. Unless you have a fiduciary capacity.
I can say I didn't see it. Even though I saw what happened, I can say I ain't see nothing. And they can't do nothing about it.
And it's not a crime in our jurisprudence. So nothing is compelling her under the law to come forward. However, interesting, she did post it. She did identify herself.
She did post it. She did identify herself. You know who didn't post or didn't identify themselves? Brandon Tatum, TMZ, alleged 2 witnesses. Those 2 witnesses said they seen Nolan at 6 o'clock. They didn't post it. They didn't reveal themselves. But we supposed to believe them? At least she put her name on it. At least this person know. At least we know who this person is. And we don't know if she went to the police or not. Everybody just speculating. She probably did. But here's my thing. She said something about it publicly. Y'all 2 witnesses that said they seen Nolan at 6 o'clock, they haven't spoke publicly about it. We supposed to believe you, Brandon Tatum? Come on now.
Did say she was going to police, and that would be my first line of cross. Did you take this to the police? And if she said no,
look at him. He ready to deny.
Break out in that courtroom. If you have information like this and you don't go to the police, no. Fur would fly. Fur would fly. You ever seen a dog fight? That's what I mean by that. Fur would fly. So that would be a line of cross-exam. Hold on. Something else. Before I go out to Susan Hendricks, Jeff Shetler, and Ben Dobrin, now information that there is, in fact, a criminal investigation.
Hearing that somebody who has an inside source is saying the DA's office in Mississippi is now looking at the Nolan Wells case as a criminal investigation and no longer an accidental drowning. Now, we can only pray that this is true. Obviously, we can't celebrate. We can't get excited at all because I have not seen Ben Crump announce this. It is not being reported by any other major media sources, but there are rumblings.
From Sam Crouppen. All right. I would like to point out that his source is a, quote, little birdie. Little birdies are saying that an inside source says the DA's office is now looking into the Nolan Wells as a criminal.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me wonder, did that woman,
You get laughed out of court if your witness said, a little birdie told me, number one, that's hearsay, but a little birdie?
Yeah, exactly. It makes me wonder, did that woman, those text messages about some sort of altercation, is the grand jury analyzing this as we speak? Because finally the DA came out and said, look, I can't release.
Shout out to Diva coming in with the $5 super chat. Those two witnesses didn't reveal themselves because they don't exist. This is a wild goose chase. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. They trying to distract us, Diva, by bringing up these alleged two witnesses that don't exist. Because if they seen Nolan, why they won't tell us what they seen? Why we got to hear from Brandon Tatum, a known troll, a known liar, a known bootlicker? Shout out to you, Diva, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you.
Anything that's going on, but let it be clear, and I'm paraphrasing, that we are investigating this with a grand jury.
Susan Hendricks, you're absolutely right. She states most recently, this is the elected district attorney, my obligation and commitment is to present the grand jury with all the evidence collected in the case in order for them to reach a decision based on a thorough investigation, complete evidence presentation, the actual truth, and an understanding of the law. I'm obligated to do so in keeping with the law and the rules of the court. She goes on to state, I stand firmly on...
Nancy backpedaled off that audio. Yeah, she backpedaled. I told y'all she playing both sides. She ain't to be trusted neither. I told y'all from the jump. All of a sudden that she deleted the audio off her platform.
Rule of law and my ethical obligation. That is what the people of Jackson County elected me to do. I will present the grand jury with a thorough, complete, and fair investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. Now, is there a criminal investigation? According to some sources, there is. We keep hearing there is no criminal investigation. To Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, what is the truth of it tonight?
Nancy, it hasn't been announced that there's a criminal investigation, but it just stands to reason that they are doing a full investigation into the death of Nolan Wells.
This investigation demands, since Nolan was reported missing, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have worked around the clock investigating.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Investigating what happened to him. Every piece of evidence must be examined. Every credible lead must be followed to its conclusion. Every witness interview must be analyzed in context of all other evidence. The pressure for answers does not change what the work requires. Our responsibility to Nolan and our community is to complete this investigation thoroughly, carefully, without compromise, supported by the evidence and worthy of the confidence of the people we serve. I also understand that many people have questions about why more information has not been released publicly.
Yeah.
In Mississippi, the rules of professional conduct restrict the information a prosecutor can release during an investigation.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop you fucking lying.
So you can't release any information on the case, but somebody in your department, ma'am, is releasing information. Somebody in your department is releasing information. And you know that that is against the law. But you sit up here trying to play in our face thinking that that is going to turn the temperature down on this pressure that we are giving you. Because family, ever since this district attorney made this video, reading from a script, by the way, she's reading from a prompter, we haven't heard from her since. She went into hiding. We don't believe you, ma'am. Shout out to Patrice for being a member for 1 month. Shout out to you, family. I appreciate you.
Our restraint in communicating facts and evidence is not an effort to keep the truth from the public. It is an effort to protect the integrity of this investigation and the grand jury proceeding.
And tonight, more rumblings that the wrong boat was searched.
The MDMR report states that the searched vessel was called a Tide craft, right? On July 8th. But witnesses show he used a Tide line boat on July 4th. In the MDMR report, right down at the bottom in the yellow, it says Tide craft, not Tide line.
From Sam Crouppen to Ben Dobrin, emergency response diving instructor and trainer. Ben, thank you for being with us. What about the mistake in the name of the boat, if it was in fact a mistake? And could that explain any problem in getting GPS information?
Well, absolutely, because they're two different brands of boats. It's like saying, I'm going to search a Ford, and then you go out and search a Chevrolet in a car. They're very different brands of boats. And so if they were searching...
Shout out to Patrice coming in with the $20 super chat. Stay on their necks, King. I got you. I got you, family. I ain't stopping no time soon. Belt to ass season in full effect. Thank you so much for that, Patricia. I appreciate you.
Wrong boat, then any information on that boat would be the wrong information.
Shout out to Natty Boy coming in with the $5 super chat. Oh, his golden birthday, 19 on the 19th too. Yeah, that's crazy. Thank you for all you do, gentlemen. Then She's Def brought Steven from Django on to make a fool of him. Fast. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's like her target practice. That's what I think. I think he's like her target practice because she know he lying. She know that he picked a side. So I don't understand why she keep bringing him on there for. Because he don't provide no evidence or nothing. All he do is lie.
So if you're going after the GPS plotter on the Chevrolet.
When you have 60 people that have, it's partially irrelevant depending on the investigation and the interviews that they've done. There is no indication that there was a crime committed on any one of these boats.
Wow.
When you have 60 people that have already given statements to law enforcement, you have the young men that I interviewed that were on their boat that left the island, and then you have people that saw Nolan on the island after they had left. What people? You keep saying it was people that seen him. What people? We don't believe you. What people? What's so hard for these imaginary people to come forward and say, hey guys, we see Nolan? What's so hard to do that? If you see Nolan, you see Nolan. Like, what the hell? Why is it so hard for y'all to come forward and say this? We supposed to believe Brandon Tatum? That is two alleged witnesses that seen him? Come on now, family. Indication that Nolan was on any one of those boats at any point in time and that a murder occurred on those boats.
No facts.
So regardless,
you can't back that up. You can't prove that. You can't prove that.
If they searched them or not, it was offered up for them to use a cadaver dog, but that never occurred. And so I don't really think that the boat situation or search is significant. The boys submitted their Life 360, which is how they got a GPS tracking of when they left the island and how they got from point A to point B, where they docked and all of those things. So all of the information has been concluded, or at least have been explored, and it didn't appear that there was any foul play on any one of the boats.
Okay. Officer Tatum, I respect everything that you just said. But to have a witness tell me it's true because I said so,
right,
and because my friends say so, that doesn't mean it's true to me.
This is GPS.
It could be true.
They
and I
provided.
see
They provided Life
GPS. That
360.
doesn't tell me what happened to Nolan.
Exactly.
They
No, I'm
got
saying they
GPS
provided
telling me
Life
they
360,
came back.
which is they provided Life 360. They provided the CETO call, and you can put those two things together and say, okay, the timeline matches. And if they left at 4:30, they were already gone. All three boats that came out were already gone.
But that does not mean that Nolan was not on that boat. You haven't proven that Nolan was still on that island. Nobody have proved it yet. They made sure that they had videos and picture of them getting towed by Bart, but nobody can present evidence, hardcore proof that Nolan was on that island. See, this is where your lie falls short. This is where you get, laughed at, Brandon Tatum, because you're a very stupid individual. Very stupid. All you got to do is prove that Nolan was still on that island when they left at 4:30. Prove it. At 4:31, departed from Horn Island. 5:52, traveled into Fort Bayou. Anything could have happened within that hour time gap.
Nolan was last seen. So now you have a timeline that's consistent with evidence that they presented.
Right there. I was going with you until you said the time Nolan was last seen.
Right.
Because their GPS data, I'm sure, is correct. And their Life 360 data, I'm sure, is correct. I'm not arguing with the technology. But what happened just before that? Where was Nolan when they're leaving the island?
Exactly.
If you can place him on that island at 5
Here we
or 6
go with
o'clock, please do it. And then I will turn attention elsewhere. I'm not trying to for that. Where was Nolan when they're leaving the island?
Exactly.
If you can place him on that island at 5 or 6 o'clock, please do it. And then
He can't place Nolan on that island on 5 or 6 o'clock. He can't. He's lying. Nobody can't. It's almost 2 months, and we just now hearing about these imaginary witnesses. It's almost 2 months, and nobody can verify that Nolan was on this island. Nobody. And it was hundreds of people that was out there. You mean to tell me nobody can show us proof that Nolan was still on that island? Because Nolan was not on that island. Nolan was on somebody's boat. He was on somebody's boat. Shout out to Diva coming in with the $2 super chat. Nancy just have Tatum there to roast his dumb ass. That's what I believe. I told you, this guy is her personal punching bag. Straight up.
Will turn attention elsewhere. I'm not trying to hang your friends.
His
the
friends.
people that you have interviewed.
You see the passive aggressive she being with him? Your friends. She letting it be known on her platform and to his face that these are your friends. So she know what you're going to do. She know that you are going to tap dance for them. That's why she got to say your friends, because it's very obvious what you doing here, sir.
And I respect that you believe them, and maybe you're right. If he can be placed on that island at 5 or 6 o'clock,
he can't prove it.
Then they're in the clear.
They not.
I want to know who's placing them there, him there, and how.
Reports have come out that there's 2 reliable witnesses. TMZ reported on this.
TMZ, ladies and gentlemen. TMZ.
Oh my God, bro. Oh hell no, man. What the
Reports has indicated that Nolan was seen on the island. Reports. This is from Bussy Tatum. Reports indicated that Nolan was on that island. And what's your reliable source? TMZ.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is what the YT community praise. This is who they praise.
They said they saw Nolan.
They said, she said, he said. He said and she said is not proof, Brandon Tatum. He said, she said is not proof. Why don't these witnesses show us proof? If you don't have proof to verify what you are saying, it's none and void, sir. This guy, bro.
A little bit before 6 p.m. There was also the young lady, Katie, who sent text messages to one of the boys that I interviewed. I saw the text messages where she alluded to the fact that she did not see Nolan get on the boat. She heard the boys yelling for Nolan to get on the boat. So Nolan never got back on the boat that he came on. So
you cannot prove that. Again, you cannot prove that. You don't have no facts. Y'all can't use Katie because Katie said that she seen the boys yelling at Nolan to get on the boat. But Katie got on the boat. So Katie, so y'all telling Nolan to get on the boat, but she made sure she got on that boat? Because Katie took screenshots of her on Bart's boat. Katie is with them. Katie is with them. This dude's so fucking stupid, man.
You have the boats leaving. You have a CETO call. You have testimony from everybody on the boat. And all of those things have to be taken in consideration. Also, they have already spoke to law enforcement about this. Them talking to me in the interview is them just telling the world what they told law enforcement.
Okay, they could have lied to law enforcement. You think people don't lie to law enforcement all the time? You sit up here lying. You lie every day. You think they not lying about the crime that they allegedly did? You think they went to the police station and said, yeah, we did unalive our best friend and we took his body somewhere and hid it, and we brought it back on the 6th and placed it at the exact location that our boats was anchored at. He think just because they said it, that it's facts. It's truthful. Just because they spoke with law enforcement that's assisting on covering this up, by the way, that is facts.
If there was any indication whatsoever that he was on the boat based on the testimony that was given from the boys or anybody else, even this new witness that have come forward, I think that there would be a significant investigation leading to an immediate arrest. But they clearly don't have any clear evidence that there is a crime that is committed, and especially a crime that was committed from the boys that I interviewed. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know the young men that I talked to.
I can't speak for anybody else. I can't speak for Wyatt. I can't speak for Wyatt, little brother. I can't speak for Bart. I can only talk about the white devils that I interviewed. He know. Brandon Tatum know. He know.
Gone. There's no indication that Nolan was on the boat whatsoever.
There's no indication that Nolan was on that island. So it can go both ways. If you saying that it's no indication that Nolan was on that boat, there's no proof or evidence that Nolan was on that island. You really hanging your head on that Nolan was not on the boat because two witnesses that you haven't talked to, you haven't verified, you don't have no proof or evidence, just because they said it, that mean that that's true? This got to be the dumbest mother ever on this planet, family. You right, Cartier. He's getting paid to play stupid. I'm starting to believe that now. Shout out to Diva coming in with the $5 super chat. Can't use Katie. She got timestamps. While Tatum have he say, she say, this man is not just cook. He is overdone. Burnt. Crisp.
They're giving statements. Katie gave a statement. Even this person is claiming that they saw Nolan.
Shout out to Patrice coming in with the $5 super chat. Tater said Katie said Nolan refused to get on the boat and he needs her permission to show text. We know, Patrice, that this guy is just making up ish and just lying his ass off. That's all he's doing. Just making stuff up.
A crime that was committed from the boys that I interviewed. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know the young men that I talked to, they were gone.
They was gone.
There's no indication that Nolan was on the boat whatsoever.
Nolan was gone too, because Nolan Biden went on that island. Why you want to talk about that? When the Rangers came to clear out the island, Nolan wasn't there. So where was Nolan? Are you saying that Nolan's body got washed away in the ocean then came back? That's what you're saying? Shout out to Walk Diesel coming in with the $2 super check. Cajun Navy said they found him near the incident. That's what I'm saying, Walk Diesel. They went out there the day of, right? On July 4th, that night. And then they went out there the next day, July 5th. All day searching for him. They had drones, boats, boots on the ground. Nobody found him. All of a sudden, July 6th, boom, Nolan body appears. So what y'all telling me is, appreciate that, Walk Diesel. So what y'all telling me is, let's just run with their narrative. Nolan drowned. His body washed away in the ocean with the washing machines, the whirlpools, the tides, all that that's going on in the ocean that could have pushed his body further away from the island. 2 days later, his body show up face down at the exact location that the boat was at. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. My bad, family. Yeah, that makes lots of sense.
They're giving statements. Katie gave a statement. Even this person is claiming that they saw Nolan get into a fist fight. It appears that this person is claiming that the fight has happened after Wyatt and the rest of them had left on the boat.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. Please join us on Crime Stories. And
what do you think regarding the boats, not just the Triton, but the other two boats that traveled with it?
My question is, where did he go in the water? They got him out of the water, obviously, on July 6th. But my question is, where did he go in the water and when did he get into the water? Was it a drowning? Bodies behave differently underwater, whether it's a drowning or it was a killing elsewhere. There's a lot of different variables. The body washed up very close to where he was last seen.
The body washed up close to where he was last seen. Let me say that again. His body washed up close to where it was last seen. Was that just by accident? Was that just a coincidence? All of a sudden, people out there with drones riding through the ocean, doing a whole search looking for Nolan. Divers, SEALs, everybody out there. Nobody could find Nolan. July 6th, Nolan body appears out of thin air, family. Nolan body appears face down out of thin air. When it was search teams, the law enforcement, Nolan Wells' family, everybody, volunteers, everybody was out there on the July 5th. And then July 6th, all of a sudden, his body just pop up out of nowhere. And y'all want us to believe there's no foul play. His body just washed away and then he washed back. Come on, man. We weren't born yesterday. We was not born yesterday.
Diving instructor, what do you think regarding the boats, not just the Triton, but the other two boats that traveled with it?
My question is, where did he go in the water? They got him out of the water, obviously, on July 6th. But my question is, where did he go in the water and when did he get into the water? Was it a drowning? Bodies behave differently underwater, whether it's a drowning or it was a killing elsewhere. There's a lot of different variables. The body washed up very close to where he was last seen. There's a lot of current in that area. If it was a drowning, people generally sink when they drown.
Uh-oh. He said it was a lot of current in that area. Normally, when somebody drown, they sink. They sink, family. He said it's heavy current in that area. And normally when somebody drown, they sink down. They don't magically float away and come back. And how did he come back to the same spot? See, this was what angers me, because they playing with our intelligence, family. They really want us to believe that Nolan drowned and the currents are heavy out there. It's bad. Washing machines, everything. You know that shit would have took a washing machine or a whirlpool in the ocean would have sunk his body at the bottom of the ocean. His body was gone for 2 days. And then it wind up at the same spot. And this expert just said normally when somebody drown, the body sinks. But Nolan's body appears July 6th. Bam, right there, face down. Like somebody just placed him there. Here y'all go. Y'all can have him now. I'm too terrified. I don't know what to do. I really don't want to throw his body out there in the ocean because he's my friend. I don't want to do him like that. I don't want to lose his body because I want his parents to have him a funeral, right? I don't want to do him like that. So I'll just take his body back to where we was last seen and allow them to pick up his body and do him a proper burial. Okay.
In the water, and when did he get into the water? Was it a drowning? Bodies behave differently underwater, whether it's a drowning or it was a killing elsewhere. There's a lot of different variables. The body washed up very close to where he was last seen. There's a lot of current in that area. If it was a drowning, people generally sink when they drown. But if you don't drown and you're put in the water, you're more likely to float. And so there's a lot of variables that come into play.
He said if you put in the water, if you didn't drown, because normally when you drown, you sink to the bottom. He said, but if you just put in the water, normally the body floats. If somebody just threw his body in the water, he was just going to float. His body was just going to be floating in the ocean. And you know who would have saw his body? The Cajun agent, the Cajun Navy, the rescue team, the volunteers, the parents. They was out there on July 5th searching for his body. If he was just placed in the water, his body would have floated. Nobody saw his body.
Play of where the body was recovered versus where the body went in, and the timeline also. 2 days, if the body had been in the water for 2 days, that does lead to decomposition. The water temperature is around 85 to 88 degrees. That's very warm water, a lot of bacterial growth. And so a lot of different variables in play of where the body went and where it came out and the when. Those are my questions. He's an athletic young man. He's very muscular. Muscles sink in the water, fat floats. And so if he drowned...
Muscle sinks, fat floats. Muscle sinks, fat floats. And you can see right here in this video, he was in shape. He was muscular, right? He would have went to the bottom of the ocean. We know these things, family. And this would make this even more this case. This is how you know it's bigger than what we think, family. This cover up is way bigger than what we think. It's a lot of covering up going on. For all of those people that was on that island not to come out and speak publicly and not say nothing, this is how you know that, family, this is deep. For nobody to come forward, nobody on that island. And I think that witness that came out and said she seen Nolan in that altercation almost a month and a half later, I believe that guilt is eating her up. She had to come out and say something.
He was probably going to be on the bottom for a while. And if it was 2 days, that makes sense if he drowned and then washed up very close to where he went in. And so to me, that's a big piece of important information is, if he drowned, he was recovered very close to where he was last seen.
But what does that prove?
If he drowned and he floated, because in warm water, it takes 2 to 3 days for your body to decompose and float. It proves that he drowned, whether it was somebody holding him underwater or him trying to swim somewhere and wasn't a good swimmer. I have no idea, but we haven't gotten the results from the autopsy, and the autopsy is going to tell us a lot. If he drowned, that's an important piece of information. If he did not drown, that's
a truthful autopsy would tell us a lot. a person that is actually truthful and not an anti-black racist that's doing the autopsy would tell us a lot. Not Stacey Turner.
Even more important, you have somebody who was found in the water, his body was found in the water and did not drown. That's a very important piece of information. But if he did drown and they found him in the water, that can open up a lot more avenues for investigation at that point.
So he said if he did drown and his body was found in the water, that should open up a big investigation. Because how did he get there?
Joining us, veteran trial lawyer Philip. We know.
Oh, this
because
guy.
the district attorney has said she is presenting information to a grand jury. There are reports it is a criminal investigation. What do you make of the possibility this is a criminal investigation?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. Jackson County, Mississippi is one of the few jurisdictions in the United States that follows the old Sergeant Code. And what that was back in the day was the days of the coroner inquest, where if you had a violent, sudden, or casual death and they couldn't figure out what happened, you would impanel a jury where the medical examiner or the then...
I don't want to hear this food no more. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Yes, indeed. Shout out to AQ coming in with the $2 super chat. That witness was probably trying to get paid first. They should. Hey, it's $125,000 on the table. What you waiting on? I think that a lot of people are starting to think about that $125,000 family. That's $125,000. And a lot of those people down there in that community are poor. They don't got no money. That's why she's trying to come out and say, oh, I seen this. She's trying to lead to an arrest. Because if somebody get arrested and convicted, $125,000 is yours. So do the right thing. So family, the biggest court case tomorrow is for the recusal. I mean, not the recusal. We already won that. I know y'all still mad about that. Arguments for a retrial is tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Arguments for a retrial is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day. I'm already confident. I feel it. I feel that we are going to get granted this retrial. So let's keep Karmelo Anthony in our prayers, family. Let's continue to be a voice and an advocate for Nolan Wells because their lives are falling apart. People are coming out telling us what happened. It's coming. They panicking. And Brandon Tatum can only say, he's running out of lies, family. There's only so many lies that he can say. Shout out to Diva coming in with the $5 super chat. This case is going to be solved by forensics and toxicology. Can't run from their work. Exactly. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this evening. Free Karmelo Anthony. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells, ladies and gentlemen. Free Karmelo Anthony. And rest in peace to Nolan Wells, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow is the case for a new trial. We won big today in court. We got cockroach the hell up out of here. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Happy birthday to Nolan Wells. Job well done, my brother. Job well done. Job well done. Rest in peace to Nolan. Free Karmelo Anthony, family. While you guys are exiting the room, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to